All right, hey, we're trying something new here on Facebook. John Castanino, Matt Gutierrez here. Matty, we're live, courtside.
Always live.
No microphone, at least here with the magic of television.
Hands are free.
We wanted to do, obviously, a pregame. Critical game here, Matt. I mean, both of these teams, San Diego State, UNLV, tip-off 7 p.m. tonight here at the T&M. Right, mired in the middle of the conference. But we know the obvious. UNLV has not won on their home floor in conference play this season. How big is this game?
You got to go. Have they ever lost 4 straight in conference at home? I don't even think they did that last year. I mean, 4 straight at home for the Thomas and Mack Center for UNLV just seems unheard of, especially in conference. Tough loss the other night against Fresno. You look at the teams they beat, all on the road. All 3 teams are below them in the standings right now. I mean, that's where we're at right now. The only teams that UNLV can beat right now are the teams that are behind them in the standings, and that's not saying much. San Diego State is technically behind them, but I mean, they come in at 4-4. I don't know what you're going to get out of this team tonight. I mean, that's the problem, is we don't have any consistency.
And here's the thing, and Matt and I talked about this before we went live here, you know, what does this team do well consistently? And at the beginning of the year, there was a lot. They shot really well. Their field goal percentage was above 50% every game. And I always point to the highlight of this season, the peak of this year, was that game against Utah at T-Mobile Arena where they smoke them. Yep. And then all of a sudden the wheels fall off the wagon here. We know this team has it in them, and we've addressed it here and there. I mean, I go to chemistry. Is it chemistry to you, or is there just a systemic problem here?
I think a lot of it is chemistry because we've talked a lot about Johnson not getting the ball into the post. I mean, we've made a big deal about that. His assist numbers have been down since conference has started, so you have to wonder whether or not something changed throughout the course of the season, chemistry-wise, where he just doesn't want to feed the post anymore. They just, like you mentioned, there's no consistency in what they do. They don't do anything consistently well, and that's an issue when you get into teams that are very familiar with you. I mean, it's conference play. Scouting goes up. Everybody knows what you do well and what you don't do well. So Tervel Beck is going to start in place of Clyburn today. Tony's been calling for this for a little while now. He's wanted Clyburn to... He's wanted to see Beck in the lineup over Clyburn for
Tony
a minute,
is on, not at the arena, but he is watching. Tony, let's make sure that you can hear us.
Oh, well, I'm sure he's happy about this right now because he's been all over Clyburn for a while.
I got confused. I mean, I would just assume Party is in the starting lineup because he's been the Rebels' best player over the stretch, again, where they haven't really
definitely one of the best. I mean, I think he's a little more dynamic. I think he plays defense a hell of a lot better than what we see out of Mooring lately. So I'd like to see him in the lineup more.
All right, so outcome.
I can't. It's hard for me to say the Rebels are going to win this game. I want to see them win this game. I think everybody in the building tonight, including the team, understands what it means to beat San Diego State. They've won, I think, 11 in a row now, the Aztecs have, over UNLV, and that follows a stretch where they won 8 or 9 in a row not too long ago. So this series is starting to even up, and I think it's time for the Rebels to turn things around. I just don't know if they have it in.
Yeah, and here's my deal. This team's not playing well right now. You know, again, they're coming off that loss to Fresno State. You know, the cards are stacked against UNLV, and that's when they surprise everybody. When they when you expect them to win, it seems like they fall on their face a little bit. When you don't expect them to win, like maybe tonight, even though it is a pick'em game, I see the Rebels actually winning here. I do see them rising up, and they know that, you know, whether or not San Diego State is at the top of the standings, they do know that San Diego State is a rivalry team to them. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's their biggest rival in conference. We all know that. According to Desiree Reed-Francois, ticket sales have been really good for this game. We'll see if we can get, you know, upwards of 12, 13, 14,000 in the house tonight. When the MAC is loud, it's a great environment. It obviously fuels the team. We'll see what happens.
All right. For Matt, I'm John. Stay tuned to our Facebook page. Maybe we'll do one of these after the game, hopefully after a Rebel win. See you later.